Hello, everybody. Mike Rasmussen here today. I want to talk about what we're facing in 2023, or sorry, 2024. A few years ago, in 2018, I was invited to speak at the SourceCon in Vegas. I wrote about that this morning a little bit, and I talked about how that was a defining moment for me. Here's a picture of me on stage. I recently just shared some thoughts on that topic, and here's what I said. Influence is an incredibly powerful tool when used correctly. In 2018, I spoke at my first SourceCon in Vegas. Much has transpired since then, including the whipsaw of circumstances where at one moment talent acquisition professionals had so many opportunities, only to find ourselves in a moment of layoffs. As I shared via my Where's Your Next YouTube channel in my most viewed video, to shout your freedom requires your absolute resiliency. Since 2018, I've experienced an uptick in my value proposition, only to see circumstances that have caused a tectonic shift in how I perceive and influence the world. Through moments where growth was a necessity, I've come to today, which for many reasons may change my career trajectory. Stay strong in these times, because the reality is doors are ready to open. You just have to know where to look. A lot on tap today. I've got a big vision, and that's what keeps me going for another round. Stay true, stay bold. Where's your next? So, folks, I don't know who's going to watch today, but on the Vlogcast, it was important that I, come to this moment and share a little bit about what we're facing in this time. I wanted to share a little bit from Jamie Kern-Lima today. The reason that's important, I'm going to go Google and find her book real quick and just get the picture of that up. So let me pull up her book so that you can see the power behind this amazing book. So Jamie Kern-Lima is an amazing person. She started IT Cosmetics. She went against the grain as an entrepreneur. She stayed strong when there are people who doubted her. And there are moments where in a job search, you're going to feel, essentially like everything is really hard, and that every moment is going to be coming full circle to your value proposition. So I want to read, as we start to kick off this TA talent acquisition job seeker support, career seeker support group, which will be kicked off via the webinar today. I'm going to be creating a LinkedIn group and a Facebook group, a place where talent acquisition professionals can come together, share ideas and tips and ideas, and also help each other thrive. So I have some work to do this morning to prepare for that webinar, but I thought I would kick it off today with this message to the world that community is very powerful. Community is what gets us where we are. Community is what helps us thrive. It's what helps us survive. We've been in times in the last, if you look at 2018, 2019, my career was going pretty strong. I was at ADP. I had been promoted. I had grown a lot. And as it turns out, when the whipsaw of events hit, that amazing leadership team at ADP kept us together. And then we hit 2021 and 2022, where the crazy circumstances of being busy and going through crazy times made our lives, really hard as TA professionals, because you went from being slow, trying to support another team, trying to figure things out. Your company was trying to reorganize. Some went on furlough, only to see a whipsaw of events where your desk went to become extremely busy and not enough help. Then, around about 2023, we heard whisperings that many of these organizations were laying off. And I shared another video a few weeks back via the Vlogcast where I went through the issues, the circumstances, and the challenges that we were facing as a TA community. Um, line recruiters that had been laid off, and many, you go to a recruiting posting on LinkedIn or a recruiting posting on Indeed, and there are 500, 600, 1,000 applications, and it can become very discouraging. The other day, I took I was on an interview, and I was surprised because I was given an exercise where the interviewer didn't really prepare me for it. Now that's okay, but it taught me something, that you always have to be anticipating things ahead of the curve, ahead of the circumstance. I did talk to a few of my colleagues, and they said that's not normal. Look at software engineers right now, and they're going through um, coding tests and long, create an application overnight, or whatever it is. There's all sorts of crazy circumstances that are essentially a challenge, right? So I want you to know, if you're seeing this, that you are worthy. You are much more than this world perceives you to be, which is why you must keep staying relevant. You must keep staying ahead of the curve. Keep trying to do things better than you did before. So, um, I also wrote an article about recruiter mental health in the last 6 months. And I saw a lot of my recruiting friends that are struggling with their mental health. As one who has anxiety and has faced that my entire life, I know the challenge that exists. I know how real that is. So when you come to this point in a job search where you've been really close, as I have, you know that you are worthy. You know that you're better than what the challenges are. So this is where we are. 3 months ago, I was working at a company I loved. Through a series of events, the my friend and my leader there couldn't keep me on. He wrote me a letter of recommendation, unfortunately. So now I'm in a boat where I have to look, but I I am eligible for rehire if needed. So he just doesn't have the work for me. So I want to read this poem from Jamie Kern Lima, which has inspired me, quite frankly. And I think it's something about these words that really kind of drive the point home. I read this the other day, but what could be more powerful than where we are right now, and seeing the value of who you are as you overcome this job search that you may be in. So if you're a talent acquisition professional, this really is for you. This really is for you. I want you to hear these words because I think they are very incredible, and they hit the mark. We are all entrepreneurs. If you're in talent acquisition, you're an entrepreneur, period. That's the bottom line. So you're not crazy. You're just first. And this is Jamie Kern Lima. I want you to know she's an amazing person. I heard her and I was so inspired by her book and her philosophy of life. She worked. She started her own business, It Cosmetics, and was told no numerous times, and then finally she landed, and she stayed the course and was able to get her business to $1 billion. So if you're in a place where you're facing multiple applications and competition for a role, this is for you because you are worthy. You are more than you may think you are. So this is for you. You're not crazy, you're just first. Who do you think you are, they say. Things like that aren't for people like us. Why are you going around changing, planning to leave us in the dust? Are you forgetting where you come from? Are we not good enough anymore? And just like that, the temptation to play life small feels more comfortable than before. If you're doubting you're enough, your thoughts, their words have got you down. It's time for your soul to tell your mind there's a new boss in town. See, there's no one else quite like you in the entire universe. And what your soul knows is you're not crazy, you're just first. The first to have your hopes and dreams, the first you there's ever been. So don't be surprised if they don't get you or try to shame you to fit in. They call you odd, strange, and different for having dreams bigger than they can see because those dreams weren't given to them. They see them through fear and anxiety. And even the well intentioned people who love you to the bone can see you pursuing your dreams as a reminder of them not fulfilling their own. If people like people who are like them, hiding your true self is a comfort zone, but a calling unexpressed inside of you leaves you feeling anguished and alone, even inside of your own home. They call you words like crazy and say we stick together for better or for worse. But what your knowing knows is you're not crazy, you're just first. The first to launch the business, to dust your dreams off the shelf. The first to believe you're worthy of betting on yourself. The first to beat addiction, to live life sober and awake. The first to end the generational cycle that you know you're born to break. The first to start healing. The first to forgive so you'll be free. The first to love others for who they are, not for who you wish they'd be. The first to be a visionary, to dream up the screenplay that you'll write. The first to recognize your gifts and stop hiding in plain sight. The first man in your family to say, I deal with self doubt too. The first mom to say, no, I'm not okay and I don't know what to do. The first in generations to love your body and celebrate it joyfully to prove it. To know that it's a miracle in motion and what a gift it is to move it. The first to risk rejection, to speak your truth with vigor. Knowing the opposition might be big, but your creator is bigger. The first to cheer yourself on and truly believe it, not just fake it. Knowing most people won't cheer for you until after you make it. In class, they used to pick you last, and now they're at a loss because instead of calling you employee, they now call you the boss. The first to stand up for the outcast and say, stop teasing, I just won't. You might be tempted to underestimate me, but let me save you some time. Don't. The first to say you broke my heart, you gave up on me for something else. And it took me a while to know I'm worthy of believing in myself. And what I know is, yeah, you hurt me, but I'm not rejected. See, God just hid my value from you because you're not assigned to my destiny. The first to recognize your circle looks a lot more like a cage. The first to say, Dad, will you love me for me? And Grandma, I was born this way. The first to turn your pain into your purpose, using the parts that were most rough to help guide others on their journey of feeling less alone and more enough. The first to say, let's agree to disagree. We all have the right to free speech too. Stop trying to cancel and hate on others just because you're hurting too. The first to believe in your dreams even when others might not get you. The one day love them, then one day love them anyways when they're bragging to people how they met you. The first to unlearn the lie you're not enough unless you keep striving and achieving. That's a lie that leads to nowhere and when it's time to stop believing. The truth is accomplishments are great, but to know you're worthy, you don't need them. And when we know something is true, it feels like joy and tastes like freedom. You are not your successes. You are not how many times you fail or fall. You are how big you love, and love is free for all. See, when we fear we're not enough, and fear even more we won't be loved, it's so tempting to shrink in size and trade in our purpose for their hugs. When you're feeling like you don't fit in or that you've never quite belonged, Your uniqueness is your superpower. Your truth is never wrong. And when they criticize to hold you back because your dreams aren't what they're used to, and they're afraid that you'll outgrow them, leave them behind, and that they'll lose you, stop asking for their advice if they've never been there themselves. When you people please for others, you end up betraying yourself. When doubt tempts you to dim your light, always remember this verse. Your soul knows you were made for more, with so much purpose it could burst. You're born with greatness in you, and whether it's a blessing or a curse, the world won't be better until your greatness is dispersed. See, there is only one of you in the entire universe, and your knowing knows deep down you're not crazy, you're just first. Good stuff. I want you guys to know as we kick off this amazing resource for talent acquisition professionals. And today it will begin on this webinar. The power of the community, of the recruiting community, is more powerful than anything that would face us. See, many displaced recruiters are leaders, just waiting for the right opportunity to open up. And every single posting that gets 1,000 applications or more, it's something to remember that it's not just, you know, it's not just being. You work for a purpose, for your family, for your loved ones. You might have to do things you've never done before in a market like this. You might have to see things in a new way. 2 years ago, my mom passed away in 2022, in June. And I've experienced a lot since then. I did international recruiting and I took a risk. I went and did business development, agency side recruiting. Now I find myself in a transitional moment, but I'm proud of who I've become. So the message today is this: you are more than your application. You are more than your resume. You are more than words on a page or your LinkedIn profile. You might be a mother or a father. You may have changed a life along the way as a recruiter. You may have gone and done something that nobody else has ever done before because you opened a door for another human being to an opportunity that changed their life. So the answer isn't always the application that gets rejected, or, think of the other side of the coin. Those talent acquisition professionals who are now carrying the load in their organization and don't have enough help. Think of the business owner that is down the street from you who struggled because they didn't have enough help. And you could be the answer to them by making that call. So today, rather than think about the applications that you are putting out there, it's going to come to a point where you have to do something different. You're going to have to think differently above and beyond the competition because you're worthy. You're going to do something that nobody else will ever do. So as we kick off this talent acquisition professional support group for job search, I'm very proud of what I know it can become. And I know that the talent acquisition community is stronger than the challenges that we faced. So from me to you, wherever you are, if you see this, I don't know if you'll watch the whole thing. I don't know. But I do know who I am. And I'm on course to do great things. And when I do land, which I will, I'll find that place that That makes sense for me. So part of being a part of community is supporting that community with all that you have. And this is who I am. Well, this is my message as we kick this off. You're worthy. You are more than you think you are. And thanks to Jamie Kern Lima for the inspiration today. As I read this book, I just am really inspired by what it says and the opportunity that it represents to change lives and to change perspective on the work that we do, because that work is so very powerful. So, from Where's Your Next, Mike signing off. I know there's a big day ahead, and we got some amazing things coming down the pike. I hope if you see this, you'll know who you are and how important you are, and how much of an impact you've had on human beings in the last few years as a recruiter. And even if you're a job seeker in transition as well, this is the same message to you as well. You've had impact on someone out there, and I hope it helps you today, because I think I needed to hear this message this week. I needed to hear that I was stronger than the job search, because it is a tough time. I'm not sure why we're going through this, but it's worth it. Very much worth it. Thanks for watching. We're going to get those groups up for talent acquisition professionals. For job seekers out there, the free resume review group is out there for you as well. You can join that on LinkedIn or Facebook. Until next time, from Where's Your Next, Mike signing off. Good things are coming. You just got to keep your focus. Keep your eye on the ball. Peace. Mike out.